Photos of children in Minnesota working in hazardous positions for meatpacking companies and news of children dying in the roofing and poultry industries are just some of the stories making headlines as lawmakers have attempted rollbacks of child labor protections.
We do have more good news on the child labor front, amid all of the bad news. This coming out of Minnesota, where the United Food and Commercial Workers Union, UFCW Local 663, and this reporting is coming out of Workday Magazine, friends of the show over
right.
Workday Magazine. The editor-in-chief over there is Sarah Lazare, formerly of In These Times, friend of the show, good writer. This piece is from Amy Stager. Amy Stager. This union wants meatpacking companies to foot the bill for child labor prevention. So there we go. That kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. UFCW Local 663, which represents over 5,000 essential meat packers across Minnesota, including at Tony Downs Foods, is demanding the establishment of a child well-being fund. The employer would contribute 10 cents per each regular hour up to $50,000 to go towards alleviating working conditions that violate child labor laws, like the long hours that children have been found working into the night, and providing opportunities that would benefit the community, like summer internships. So this is a really exciting, an innovative way for that this union is fighting back against, the scourge of child labor across this country, and really taking the issue into their own hands instead of waiting for the legislatures to try to propose a fix. And this is exactly the kind of thing that, unions are uniquely able to do, uniquely able to confront conditions as they arise much more quickly than any other institution in American society.
should be
yes.
Because fighting child labor is one of the historic missions of our movement, and it should continue to be as long as this scourge continues.
Absolutely. The union says, going back to the piece, the union says they are not aware of any other labor contract proposals like this seeking to address and prevent child labor violations, although violations have been increasing across the United States. Reporting in the New York Times on migrant child labor spurred initiatives and investigations from government agencies tasked with enforcement. Photos of children in Minnesota working in hazardous positions for meatpacking companies and news of children dying in the roofing and poultry industries are just some of the stories making headlines as lawmakers have attempted rollbacks of child labor protections in state legislatures. In 2023, an investigation by the Minnesota Department of Labor and Industry found that Tony Downs Food violated child labor laws. Tony Downs Food has denied they violated the law, but agreed to pay a $300,000 fine, which is obviously what you do when you're innocent. That's just totally typical innocent behavior there, paying over $250,000 fine, and agreeing to a 3-year compliance period. An investigation by the U.S. Department of Labor found that Wisconsin-based Packers Sanitation Services use child labor across 13 states, 3 of which are in Minnesota, including the unionized JBS plant in Worthington, Minnesota. Another federal investigation in 2023 also found that Tennessee-based Monogram Foods violated child labor laws at a plant in Chandler, Minnesota. And so these are the things that, this union is seeing crop up all around them, and is making them, say, like, okay, obviously the legislatures across the country are going in exactly the opposite direction. We have more children working than ever, and more children working in dangerous positions than ever, and they're trying to make that easier for employers to do. That's not something that we are willing to accept, and so we want to try to put a stop to it. Stager talked to an employee there, a member of the union, Edgar, who only used his first name, talking about the last injury that he suffered was at the High Life Pork Processing Plant in Windham, Minnesota, which closed last year. It made him unable to work without pain. Quote, "I can't even carry my kids again without it causing a pain in my back," says Edgar, a leader with Unidos, Minnesota, who spoke during a press conference. Meat processing plants are not safe places for our children and adolescents, not only because of the risks that this entails, but also because it interrupts healthy physical, and psychological development and health in general. And so about the proposal, is it enough to restore all the harm? No, says Wong of the UFCW Local 663. But is it a start? Yes, it is a start to a solution, and that is who and what we want to be as Minnesotans. Creating everyday solutions to protect children, to protect workers, and make sure that they don't have to be in this false choice of going to work or going to school and trying to live this American dream in Minnesota. So really great stuff there from UFCW Local 663. Really appreciate their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.